am Chucky, the killer dog, and I dig it!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The first episode of Vent Your Heart Out with Gustavo Adames. For any of you guys that don't know my name, yes, my name is Gustavo Adames. It's very weird hearing me say my full name, because a lot of you guys know me as Stavo, Arcoin, Repair Coin, DJ Butter Biscuit, Stavo AD, anything of that matter. It doesn't really matter. Just there's so many nicknames I have. It's insane. It still baffles me till this day on how many names I have. It's kind of, I get used to it though. I don't know why I have a lot of names. I just do. I can't keep one thing forever. I need to have certain changes. Can't really decide one thing and keep it forever. I know people that are bold and can do that, and I can mention a couple of names. Most likely they don't really care. Like my brother, my homie, not my actual blood brother, but to me he feels like a blood brother. It's my man Beaver, and that's his nickname pretty much to me. It's like Beaver, Buzz Bunny. He can keep one name and have it for ever, and he will never change at all. That's what I know, is the fact that he will never change. This is a new podcast that I made that is just something new, something I've always been meaning to actually try out and have in my life. Reason why is because, once again, I change a lot throughout all the weeks, months, years that I think about new stuff every day. I had a podcast before this, and it was called The Basement, and I had a lot of great features in that podcast, and I was supposed to have a full-on co-host, and it's Fernando, my homie, but things did not go according to plan, and it happens. You can't really complain, or you can't give that person shit, or that person gives me shit for doing my own thing. I never really wanted to do my own thing in the beginning. Now, The Basement was pretty much meant for us, and for us only. We were both hosts of the show, and it's kind of hard to keep that motive going without him. He might think of it as in no, Gus, I was there, you were there, but to be honest, I would have never even thought about even making a podcast if it wasn't for Fernando. It was like that. I never had the image in my head of making a podcast. He did. And he wanted to talk about video games. I was the same thing, It's something that I really had in mind of to do with him, and him only. He was the co-host. I didn't want anyone else. There are homies out there, and I can name a bunch of other people that, they're like, yo, you could have done it with me, or with this person. It's not really the same. Some people can do that with shows. Some people can do that with their own podcast. They had a co-host, they had it planned, they love the ideas, it's pitched, everything's all great, but then when things fall out, to them, they don't give a fuck. They care about views, they care about listeners, and that's it. But it's about the love and it's just the vibe, you can't, with me, I gotta make it realistic. Without Fernando, I would have never even decided to even do this type of shit. And I love Fernando 100%. He's a brother of mine. Love him dearly to my fucking heart. I can't have a podcast that me and him made and then take all the credit by doing my own work. There are some people that I know that wanted to take, fill that spot in. No joke. I do have people. I know people that even bought expensive equipment just for that scenario, and they weren't taking the spot. I already told them that they wasted money too. If Fernando's not doing it, then like I'm not going to be part of this. I made a lot of episodes without him, and it got to a point where he was a listener and he thought that the podcast was great, but he felt like it was great without him. And he told me that he had to do his own thing with his own life. He has a lot of things to work out on. And I understood completely. And I told him that, dude, this spot will never be taken from you. And he was 100% flattered. And he told me that, like, oh yeah, we'll get in touch whenever. He's been busy. He has a daughter, a beautiful daughter. And, you know, since then, he's happy. And I'm not going to force him into something that, like, obviously he doesn't really have that much time in. We're already getting to a moment in time where we have vaccines now, and we can get to places left and right. There's stores that we can just go in without any mask anymore. We get to meet our friends and other family members that we couldn't see for so long. And it got to a point where we're all happy. We're even going to concerts now. Concerts are reopening. Conventions are reopening. And we're all so stoked and happy. For a lot of you guys that do know that I did make a fighting game community team at first, and it's called the Shaolin. And the Shaolin is still exists to this day, and it's still kicking. And it's still badass as fuck. And we are still taking people that really, really do love to be in a team. And I'm still, you know, people can just DM me at Stavo AD on Instagram or on Twitter, Stavo AD_TV. You guys can DM me on both if you guys are really interested in being part of the team. And there is some big news that, like, the team is no longer an FGC team, is now a esports team. So you can be part of the team to play fighting games, but you can also be part of the team for FPSs, MMOs. It doesn't really matter. Anything that is competitive, you're like, if you are very serious about being part of a team and really want to work hard on it, you guys can. You guys got to show us the skill and the fact that you really mean it, and then we'll think about it. You know, me and my and some of my members of the Shaolin. And now all of us has been vaccinated. We can all hang out again. We can all be in one stream again. And that was also something I've been thinking about, is that I actually been thinking about making a Twitch account for the Shaolin, where pretty much me or a couple of members of the Shaolin, or even all the members of the Shaolin, live stream of us just playing games together, or even playing online together against other people, against the Shaolin. It's a lot of work, but this is what it takes to be passionate about something that you really, really care about. These things I've done over the years of me witnessing this stuff on, like, Evo and Combo Breaker, and also, like, listening to so many other podcasts and just watching a bunch of YouTube videos, live streams, everything is like, these are things that I truly love, and will never think to myself, like, this is a waste of fucking time. I never think that. It's crazy that I'm giving you all this info for the first episode, and we're already 9 minutes in. I have a lot of things to talk about. Now, I don't mind mentioning about this because from the Basement podcast, we did have a lot of guests on there. We've had my girl Drea. She's dope as fuck, and I can't wait to have her back on here again. My girl Bunny, OnlyFans girl. She's dope as fuck. She's beautiful. Can't wait to have her back again. And I'm gonna explain this later. We got Peso Pete as well. Great rapper. Amazing lyricist. I can't even say that word. Is once again, this is all in one take. No editing, no nothing. Now you guys know how real this can be. I could even speak English there for a sec, but fuck it. I don't care. This is legit. I'm not going to bullshit you. Once again, we're venting our hearts out on this shit. We're not going to fake nothing on here. I've been meaning to make this episode for a while. I already made the album cover and everything. The podcast cover and everything. And I was just waiting for the right time to talk about something. I didn't want to just immediately start recording and don't really have much to say. But then I realized that like this is something that means a lot to me. Vent Your Heart Out is going to be a podcast where nothing is hidden. Whatever I have to say, I will say it on here. Whenever there's very, very specific private things, I would not announce those things, even if it bothers me. But it gets to a point where I will probably give you guys an insight of those type of things. It's just that it's not going to be an extreme detail. Like, you know, it's not going to be something that I'm going to be like, yeah, I shouldn't really be saying this. But this is something that like needs to be spread out. We got to spread love to the world. It's hard on what people are dealing with right now. This podcast is not going to get political. We do not have those things out. There are a lot of podcasts that have those things. But on this podcast, we're not going to have anything political stand out of this podcast. This is something that people want to address. People want to send a message out in the world or whatever. Deep conversations can get very, very like hard. And a lot of people cannot handle that. And if they're friends and family of mine, and even content creators that I know, and they end up being part of this podcast, and they have some things to address that they can, and they will, and they can do it on here. I probably have friends that they'll probably say some stuff that I don't even know about. They are happy to be part of the podcast, and it's gonna be like a long run. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna send this to Fernando and let him have a huge listen to this podcast to see how I truly feel about this. Once again, like, Fernando, if you're listening right now, I know how big your heart is, man, because like obviously you say stuff to me like, dude, it's literally okay. Why did you do this and that and stuff? It's fine. You were doing great, this and that. Dude, I can't do that. I can't take that credit. Any of you guys that don't know, the Basement Podcast has been canceled. It is not on Spotify anymore. It's already been gone. And the last podcast I had was on Peso Pete's podcast. Like, well, Peso Pete was on the podcast. That was the last episode I made. Reason why is because I was feeling guilty and I wasn't feeling right about myself having that podcast, having that sort of revenue that people were hitting me up. SoundCloud rappers was hitting me up. OnlyFans girls and guys, both, doesn't matter. Both fucking genders were of OnlyFans content creators were actually hitting me up to be part of the podcast. So much was going on. I just didn't feel like it was right. I felt like something was missing throughout the whole entire time of that podcast. Every single time I recorded an episode, and even if the episode was good, once again, the guests that I've had on that show, thank you so much for being part of it. Thank you so much for taking the time of the day to actually be part of that podcast. Because once again, there's a lot of people that are always busy. Peso P is actually a good example. I didn't expect that man to be part of my podcast, but he was. And he told me things that obviously a lot of people that probably are fans of him and a bunch of other members of, like, you know, the Pokemon Cypher or anything like that, I bet no one even knew about. Behind the scenes and stuff like that, he told me things I never even knew about. There's things that he told me that were personal. Things about him, like, didn't have a place to stay. Shofu ended up offering him a place to stay. It's insane. And bro, I love you everything for that, man. You're like a true homie. It's crazy. Like, on the things that Drea was telling me about, like, and there was fun moments too of like talking about weed and all this other shit. It was awesome. The show had a great startup, but it was never going to be complete without Fernando. This specific show is about me and only about me. And this is why it's called Vent Your Heart Out. This is something that we need to be, open to. This is something that, like, I want everyone to just listen in and be like, hey, this guy probably has the same problem I do, or the same thing that other people do. I'm not gonna, like, waste anyone's time. This is gonna be a podcast that a lot of people can listen to, enjoy it. It will spread so much positivity, and it can actually have a lot of negativity, but we're still gonna have a positive feedback towards the end of the podcast. There's a lot of things that I want to be talking about on this podcast, and I can't wait for it. I really can't wait for it. There's going to be a lot of things that we're going to be addressing, a lot of things that I want people to actually know about, and it's fine. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be fine. I can't wait to actually, like, sit with all of you that are going to be listening, and just can't wait to just listen a newer episode to a newer episode to a newer episode every week. It's going to be once a week, this show. Every single time. It's going to be every Monday, probably during the afternoon. I haven't really even thought about even uploading this episode on Monday. To be honest, I was actually thinking about just uploading it today. It is 1 a.m. right now on Sunday. It's July 5th. Yes. Yesterday was 4th of July. And it's like, it's crazy that I thought of it now. It's crazy. I have, like, there's a lot of things that bother me. Lots of things that bother me. For any of you guys that don't know, I am actually an artist. I draw a lot of art, lots of art, and I would say I would consider myself as a more of an amateur artist than anything. I can draw, and a lot of people that would see my art would probably say, "Dude, you are fucking on drugs or some shit." You are an amazing artist. I wouldn't even consider yourself as like a amateur. I would say you are like a pro or something. I don't consider myself that. There are a lot of people that look at my art and they think that I am like amazing at it, but I'm really not. I draw my art. It's all in my head, but the thing is that it's someone already made it. So pretty much, like, people draw a lot of things, and there's amazing artists out there, and it gets me jealous all the time because someone has some sort of skill that I don't have and I cannot master. And when I see people draw specific shit, I draw my own art and it's unique, but the thing is, I have to find something on Twitter. Actually, it's usually on Twitter. I don't really see any other art like on Instagram or anything. But like on Twitter is a good example. I find a lot of artists, amazing artists on Twitter. And when I look at that, I'm just like, I want to do the same thing, but I want to make it my own. And I do that. And obviously a lot of artists will be like, there's nothing wrong with that. You get a lot of insight, a lot of ideas, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people that do the same thing and they don't make their own. Or like you're looking at their art and you're like, man, I want to do the same thing but my own idea. They're probably taking it from another person. Who the fuck knows? But like, the thing is that there's always going to be someone that draws something and they just have that great mentality. They have a great imagination. They have amazing imagination that they can just think of something like that and then they just draw it and it looks fucking amazing. For me, let's take it down a notch from 95 to 100% to 5% or 10%. It's very, very small. It's not, I don't have that much imagination. I have to figure out specific ideas to do it. And whenever I do have an idea, that's rare. That's so rare. It's not big or anything. It happens once in a blue fucking moon where I end up having an idea. Now, once again, these are my own problems, and I get it that people just do this, do that, but I'm not asking for anyone to give me help. There's nothing for that. I'm going to be going to Tom Savini's School of Makeup Effects. It is a school down in Pennsylvania. And Tom Savini is actually my idol. He's an amazing makeup artist that creative in a whole new level. He created monsters like the Xenomorph from Alien, and he even made certain masks from the WWE superstars, like the Fiend's mask. He made Triple H mask on from WrestleMania. He's a great artist, great artist, and I want to show that I have potential. I want to start making portraits, start to sculpt a lot of things, and a lot of people just tell me that, hey man, just buy the stuff and just start making it. But it's more of where to start. When can I where can I start just making certain things, and it's my own ideas, and what can I do to begin from it? I don't want to just buy the material and start giving up. Start just realizing that this is way too good to be true or anything like that. I'll be going to school next year in October. And the working progress it's even worse. I don't have money. I don't have a job. And the only thing I've been doing is just live streaming on Twitch, but that's not really helping at all either. And the thing is that I hate it when there's people that will just tell me it's easy, just get a job. And as much as that, yeah, a lot of places are fucking working, I'm just very picky. Very, very picky. There's certain things that I can manage and certain things that I can do and certain things that I would just just start doing on my own and not have anyone force me to. But when people force me, I start to just get really pissed off. Reason why is just when people force me or people try to help me, it's not even just getting a job, it's just anything. If someone forces me to do something or try to help me, I get mad. Because these things that people force me on is super easy. If it's something extremely hard, something that I cannot even do, then yeah, it's fine that someone can help me. But if someone is trying to help me get a job where I worked in many places before, then fuck off. You don't gotta help me. I can do my own thing. If someone's if someone's telling me to oh yeah, just do this or do that when it comes to my art, then no, fuck off. I do my own art. I can grind and work very, very hard on succeeding in my art. This is where I started. I can work my ass off on anything of my art. Don't force me on that. And I get it. A lot of you that are probably going to be listening to this episode are probably going to think to yourselves oh, I'm one of those people. Do not be alarmed. Don't blame yourselves at all. Don't start to just hate yourself because you're oh, I never knew that he felt this way. But this is just how I am. I was never mad at you in the beginning or anything. Don't think I hate you or anything like that. It's just, this is how I feel. This is how I am. If I can work on my own and do these things on my own, then stop. Work on your own life. And that's not something that I'm trying to address in a way that is like, oh, he's just trying to kick me off of his life. It's like, no, I'm not. I probably still love you and everything in any way. I just don't want you guys to just only care about me only. And I get it. There's going to be times when you need to be helped. And it will happen to me. And it's going to be very, very serious that I do need your help. But this isn't that big. I will be getting up there and it will succeed. I will fucking grind my ass off for these moments and it will happen. And there's going to be ups and downs along the road. And for any of you guys that are listening that get too much help, you guys need to work on your own. Because there's a lot of people out there that I probably do know. I'm not mentioning any names because once again, it's from their own business. Don't want to start shit. But there's probably people out there that they've gotten way so much. And I mean a lot. They got like a silver spoon in their mouth and they're still fucking sucking on that fucking shit until that shit rusts. It doesn't even matter. There's those people, they are just fucking lucky. And there's people like me that are just struggling and they do need the help. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was never like mad in the beginning. It's just more just like if I've always been working in my life since I was like near the end of high school or even ending high school, or even during my college years was working, then why the fuck is anything going to change? You know, shit happened. During the times it's just like, look, I gotten fired for fucking being goddamn stupid, and there's times when I got fired and it was just because they just didn't need me. It just happened. They just laid me off. And I'm going to be honest with you. There's people that will always tell you that they got laid off, but they will never say why. Sometimes people lie. But this is the truth right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I've always been like, you know, like obviously I tell my family, I'm going to lie to them. I'm not going to be extremely real. And they're probably going to listen to this shit and I don't even mind. I will be honest. There are times when I got laid off. And it was official. I got laid off and they probably fucked me over. And that shit happens. I've gotten at least 2 jobs where they fucked me over. And that just happens. And then my family just like, fuck them. But then there are some jobs where I fucked up. And then they just got rid of me. And then I put it on them. Because, you know, no parents want to hear the full truth. They don't want to hear that you fucked up and then that's how you got fired. Because they don't want to hear that shit. And I'm not telling you guys to lie. It's just more of like, you know, if you're honest and if you guys really want your like parents or your family members, siblings, whatever, it's just like, you know, yeah, be honest with them. It's not going to hurt them. It happens. Like, you know, it just fucking happens. Like I was honest with my dad because I was a technician and I got fired. And it was due to COVID and all that bullshit. But I was going to be real with him. I was real with him. I did get fired because of that. And my dad was like, it's fine. It's whatever. It happens. And during the time where, like, you know, we're, like, in this whole COVID bullshit, it's just, like, it's hard to get a job right now. And it's just, like, just get unemployment. And it's just, like, at this point, everyone's doing it. And, like, it happens. Like, my dad wasn't even mad at that point. My dad was, like, happy with the fact that I just told him the truth anyways. He was kind of bummed because it was a good job. But still, it's just, like, it happens. It's... Probably most of you guys are probably going to think that, like, yo, this is, like, kind of deep right now. Very, very deep. But I'm trying to let you guys know that this is something that I really did mean to actually make. And it's not going to be as deep as you think. Once again, this is something that I've been thinking about having for quite a while. And it's very, very open. And once again, I'm going to have probably the same guest over from the first podcast and future guests along the road. Not going to say who. Some of them are actually going to be in it, and it's going to be cool. And some of them I never even contacted, and who knows if they even want to do it or not. But there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be talking. A lot of people that are going to be, like, you know, open to say what they truly feel and what they actually want to say in the podcast. And hell, who the fuck knows what they wanted to say next. Doesn't matter. This is where you vent your heart out. This is where you just fucking just let it out. Who gives a fuck? A lot of people that deal with that shit, man. It happens. I feel like I'm a fucking hoarder. I mean, whenever I look around my fucking room, there are things in my room that I'm just like, why the fuck do I have this shit? Like, I have a lot of things in my room. There's a lot of things that I love, but there's a lot of things I'm just like, why the fuck do I have this shit? Why do I buy this type of crap? Do I like it? Do I not? I told a friend of mine that the things that we want to buy, you gotta remember that you're gonna be keeping that shit for the rest of your goddamn life. If you want to keep that shit, keep it and fucking love it. Don't get rid of your hobbies. Don't get rid of, like, the things that you truly fucking love. Good example. I love horror movies. I love the genre of horror. From horror games, horror toys and figures, like, horror movies, obviously. Even comic books, anything that's horror related. I just love the idea that something can scare the fuck out of you. Some things that can actually be realistic. Some things that is the unimaginable. Things that you don't even expect to actually be real until they tell you that it's based on a true story, and it fucking mind boggles you, man. That's the type of shit I love. I love horror movies. Now, I have started a brand new collection. I have a new hobby, and they are horror figurines. They are these boxes, and pretty much they open up and they stay in the box, but they're not fully open. Like, they have like some weird page in front of the box, and it has like a snap, so when you open it, it's still in the box, sealed and everything and brand new, but you open it to see what's inside the box. Those type of boxes. And I have two specific boxes right now. The Friday the 13th part 2 of Jason Voorhees with the sack over his head, so he doesn't have the hockey mask or anything. He has a sack over his head, and he has specific weapons and everything, and it looks fucking cool. That was my first ever figurine case. That was the first figurine box of the horror genre that I had. That's the first one I bought. They go for like $40. It's a lot for a toy, but like I think it's badass. I love this hobby so much, and I know for a fact that I'm going to be bringing this with me like for as long as I live, because I love horror movies. I love all that shit. I will be happy being like 80 years old with all these like monsters as like, boxes, and I just kept them for so long. Who the fuck knows? Who knows if they even be worth money later on, years to come. But I love it so much. And the second figure I have, and I got this one recently, my older brother George, he got it for me as a small little gift. I don't know why. He was being extremely generous, and he told me and my brother Juan, my other big brother, come with me to a local comic book store called Zap Comics. And he told me, you guys just come through and just, like, we look at cards, comics, whatever and stuff like that. And if you guys want, I can buy you guys at least one thing. Hey, he was just feeling generous. I guess he was like, fuck it. I didn't know what the fuck to get him. Well, no, he didn't know what to, like, get for me, and I didn't even know what he would get for me. I bought myself comics and stuff like that. I was just like, whatever. And he told me, I can buy you this, I can buy you that. I just didn't know what. Then I forgot that I was starting off with this collection. And I was like, oh yeah, I did have one figure. Let me at least get part 1 of Friday the 13th. That's not really my favorite horror franchise, though. And they didn't have part 1, so I was kind of bummed out by it. They even had anything Friday the 13th that day. They have a lot of Halloween ones, which was fucking cool. But I had to get one figurine that I truly love, and it's my favorite franchise of all time. And, well, it's actually my second. It's my number 2 favorite. And it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And he got me the 40th anniversary of the first ever Leatherface figure. Same company, same box. You open it, you get to see how Leatherface looks like in the box, sealed and everything, and what kind of weapons he holds, and how the weapons are displayed and stuff. And it looks so cool. I will be posting a lot more on my Instagram, and you guys will see them. So if you guys want, my Instagram is at Stavo AD, and you'll start to see them in my stories. I don't really post them as photos. I usually post like portraits of myself or anything that involves something very serious or something along the lines of like me and my lady. So those are the photos I usually have. But other than that, I'd be posting up a lot of horror like clips. I'd be posting up a lot of horror like figures that I end up buying or something, anything horror related. I post up a lot, no joke. I really do post up a lot. I even post up like a lot of like classic, very very vintage old VHS tape commercials from the horror movie genre. I posted up like this very very recording, like it was an old, very very old recording of the first Child's Play, and it was a trailer of it on TV, and they showed real life people that saw it for the first time in theaters, and they're like crying or terrified, trembling in fear of seeing a live doll killing people. Like it was like insane. Or like I remembered Halloween 2 commercial on TV, and they're like, "Oh yeah, starting Jamie Lee Curtis," and it's like the bad quality of the announcer that's giving the announcement of the trailer, well, of the commercial, and it's because it's recorded on a VHS and it's so old, like holy shit, and it's during the 80s that it's been recorded, and it's like it's crazy, and it's not even just like horror. I end up posting up like some Disney ones too. I posted up a Goofy movie VHS commercial on TV when they were releasing it to the VHS, and like, oh, get it now and stuff, and people fucking love it. When they see me post these up, they're just like, where the fuck did you find this? And I'm just like, I just know people. I just end up finding these type of things, and sometimes some people don't even like realize that it's like it's legit. Like they're just like, where the fuck did you find this crap? I need to know if I'm still recording. Hello? Yeah, I'm still recording. Okay. I don't know why. Like I felt like the timer stopped and it kind of scared me a bit. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It just is gonna keep doing it, but like I know I'm still recording, so it's fine. So so I end up like posting up a lot of like horror genre type things, and people dig it. People know for a fact that like this is something that I truly love. So this is something that you can never really hate on me. People always tell me like they know that I love horror so much, and they give me like a little small little gift or some shit. So it just happens. Um so far this is like from the topic that I was talking about was just like this is a hobby that I love. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to be happy on what I do. Now there are a lot of other things I have in my room that is technically a waste of money. I have a lot of mangas. Now I can read mangas for free online. I'm gonna be real, and I feel like I don't really need them. So I'm just like I'm actually selling all my mangas. I'm selling all of them. If anyone wants a couple mangas, I'll be posting them up all majority of the fucking time. People can just come through and buy them. Or if it stays here for way too fucking long, I end up just selling them on eBay or some shit. Someone's gonna buy them. And the only books I want to keep are like art books and normal typical novels. Reason why is because I end up learning more things the more I read, and I love reading books like that. Like mangas, it's I can read them online, and to be honest though, the only manga I'm reading right now is just One Piece. That's it. Other than that, I don't really want to read anything else. Like yeah, the covers look cool, the art looks cool and everything, but they hold too much, way too much. To be honest though, they were catching dust for a while. The last mangas I bought were like volumes 1 through 7 of Berserk, and that's it. Mangas are great. I'm not gonna lie, they are fucking cool as hell and they're dope. But I know that I'm just wasting money on it, so I don't care for them anymore. I just want to sell them. And if I sell them all, I'll be happy. But I want to do keep. I don't have any art books at all. But I want to actually start buying some art books. It gives me some ideas, something to like, I feel like if I see more art books and stuff like that, I'll start getting more ideas, getting more, acquainted towards my art and everything like that. And I wouldn't like, I wouldn't take any ideas. I wouldn't steal any ideas. It's more of like I would start to get more new ideas. Comic books I will always collect. I have thousands of comic books and I will never stop buying them. And once again, comic books do give me ideas as well. They actually do give me some insight of art and stuff like that. So that will never die. Novels, once again, is just learning new words, growing my brain. It's normal. A lot of people were just like, I can't see myself reading, but I'm just like, that's kind of bad. Like, I know a couple people that told me that. They're like, oh yeah, I can't see myself reading books. I'm like, that's a no-brainer, pun intended. But still, um, I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't think I would ever stop buying video games. I love video games so much, and once again, I wouldn't even be streaming then if I wasn't gonna be playing video games. I love video games. I'll always be playing video games. And I love completing video games. Like on the Xbox, I only buy story based games. So anything that has a story in it, that's it though. On the Xbox, it has to be games that I like to have fun with friends. Don't give a fuck about the online. I don't give a fuck about like the achievements that much if it's for friends though. It's like I want to have like 4 Xbox One controllers, and I do want the Series X so bad. But the Xbox controllers, I want 4 of them. And then they'll all be turned on, and then everyone can have a good time, me, my girl, or like a bunch of friends that I have, or even just me and just a bunch of my other friends or whatever. And we can just all play fun games and shit that will make us laugh and crap. Or I want to play games that just have story. Cyberpunk 2077, Mirror's Edge, South Park, whatever, Evil Within and stuff. Like games, any game. If I want to play it, I want to get the achievements for it. I completed Resident Evil 2 Remake on PC with all achievements, and I completed Resident Evil Village on PC. And I got bummed out because I'm just like, I should have got these games on the Xbox. But it was before I really wanted the Xbox. So now that I turn on my Xbox and stuff, I kind of want to buy both those games, including Resident Evil 3 Remake, and try to complete all 3 of those games. I love Gamerscore. I love collecting. So getting a lot of achievements is very, very fun and very, very satisfying. So that's why I wanna do that on the Xbox. For PC, other hand, I have an amazing PC. I don't want to get rid of it. I only use my PC to play online games. The new Halo Infinite Online is going to be fucking phenomenal, and it's free. So that game I'm going to be playing a lot on PC. I play Halo the Master Chief Collection a lot, so I play a lot of Halo 3 with my boys and even just to myself. And Left 4 Dead 2, I can't wait for Back 4 Blood. I don't know if they pushed it back or who knows if that game's already out. I don't really keep in touch with most of that type of shit, but like I usually have it on my notes and stuff. But anything that involves online, if it's not a Nintendo Switch exclusive, because once again, I do have Nintendo Switch and I do pay for the online, so it doesn't really matter. I do play online games on the Switch and also story games, but still, it's mainly online games. But other than that, I do play a lot of online games on my Steam, so that's fun. I just want to play online games on PC because this feels more right. I'm paying for the internet. I don't have to pay for shit. I can just play with my friends all day long. But on the Xbox, I'm achievement hoarding. So at that point, that's why I like playing video games. I'll never get bored of it. I will never get bored of it. Now, I like to spoil myself with figurines, so I don't think that would ever die. And I do have a PSA Aaron Judge, New York Yankees card, and it's ranked 9. And it's like sealed and everything in my figurine case, and it looks fucking great. And I don't think I'm gonna be into PSAs. That was a gift from my brother, but I will be getting myself into VGAs for future references. I want to start grading certain video games that I have sealed and everything, get them graded, make make a profit later on when it goes. all the way up, and I just need to keep that for years to come. But I really want to start doing it. It will be very useful. Other than that, I just, there's nothing else for me. I love drawing. I love playing video games and stuff. The only hobby that I just start working on is my figurine case for horror movies. And I just told you that I just got 2 of them so far. And I just want a lot of them. I want to make a shelf just filled with them, and then like they look fucking cool just how they're displayed, like in the boxes and just laid out, and it'll be so sick. And it's very unique. Not that much people really have that. And yeah, there are some horror fanatics out there that I've seen, and they beat my horror movie collection because I have like a total of like 200 horror movies, and I know people beat me from that. There's people that have every horror movie, even Japanese horror movies. It's insane. But like, there's people that beat me with movies, figurines, whatever. And I want to grow that. I want to have a lot of horror movies. I want to have horror movie posters, like huge ones, to make it seem like it's like a movie theater and you're like about to go see this specific movie or something. It'd be so sick. And like, showing off my horror figurines would be fucking awesome. And once again, like, I want to be a makeup artist, and who knows if I'm going to start creating some very, very disturbing and scary figurines that I end up having ideas of, and I can display them in my room as well. And like, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to be moving out to PA, and my lady's going to be moving out with me to support me and everything. And I feel like if she's out there with me and I'm out there, it's just like, who knows if our apartment looks fucking clean and amazing, and with my new shit that's gonna be on the way is gonna be like even more better. It's like, it's all in my head, and it's just I can picture it and everything. And even if we don't even stay in PA, we just go there for my school and everything, and then we end up moving back to Jersey. But I'm probably not gonna live with my parents anymore. Most likely, if I had enough to stay out there, I'm probably gonna end up having enough to stay back here. And if we do move back, I'm probably going to be living alone with her, and, we'll support each other. Who the fuck knows? Is this going to happen? There's a lot of things I want to talk about in this podcast. Right now, I think we're going to end it here, just because you guys get a good feel like who I am and what I do for pretty much a living, and what I'm dealing with. Because once again, I vented right now. I vented my heart out to you guys. I was real with you guys. A lot of these things I don't really even I usually keep to myself, but like, I was real. I told you guys I'm struggling with money, looking for a job and stuff, and I was gonna be honest that like, yeah, I do get pissed off when people try to help me with the most smallest shit. But what can you fucking do? Yes, you can help. People can help you or whatever and stuff like that. But then some of the people that try to help me, they don't even care. They just try to brag about it or whatever. If I know I can make it, then let me make it. If I struggle and I just give up, then yeah, I'll do that. And I'll probably just ask you guys to please help me. If I really do want it. But until then, I am your boy Stavo. And you guys can just call me Stavo. That's it. It's nothing really huge. I'm not going to be, aggressively just giving out my full name every single time of the podcast. I'm going to be, it's your boy Stavo. Ending it here. Hope you guys enjoyed listening. And I'll always keep intact on what time we're going to start the podcast. Most likely it's going to be every Monday. I'm going to always have something to talk about, so don't worry. It will never die. This is something that I've always wanted to do. And who knows, there might be some special guest that might pop up and to make this podcast even better. So until then, hope you guys have a safe night. Have a great 4th of July weekend. And hope to see you guys next week for part 2. All right, guys. Have a good night.